And welcome to the Stream O Consciousness with Lisa Hauserman and myself, Smoking in G Sharp. We're coming at you from coast to coast to let you know what's going on outside and inside. How are you doing, Lisa?
I'm kind of chipper right now because I've missed getting together with you, but in general, I'm having some issues.
I know.
Thank you, though.
Life is a bunch of issues
It
every day.
certainly is.
Wow.
At any rate, here we are together again. It's been forever. It seems like this is episode 8, I think, and we're just going to follow our stream
Yeah,
of
yeah.
consciousness, basically.
Well, just prior to the show, I was talking with Lisa, and she is just super uber busy, and myself as well. We've both been really hustling, doing stuff around our house and businesses and all that good stuff. And I have also had my hands in the dirt lately. We've got some wonderful squash coming up. How are you? How are you doing over there?
Oh my goodness, talk about squash, and corn and all that jazz. It's been, a canning situation. We always go way overboard, but we need to probably.
Right now, I agree.
So a couple weeks we'll have the tomato. That's why I take off the month of August, and it might be into September. And I'm not even sure what's going on. People do want me to come back. I'm not sure about the other, gig that I have.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just going to
yeah.
play it by ear at this point because it's just. I feel like we live in a dystopian. Can you call it reality? Maybe it is fake. Maybe we're in a video game.
I'm
You know,
beginning to believe that more and more. On my last video, I showed a little snippet I took from Yellow Submarine to prove, some Beatles, not Beatles points. And in there, the little king at the bottom of the sea kind of describes the Beatles as imitations. Oh, you guys are pretty good imitations. And John goes, no, we're the originals. I mean, they're already back in 1969 debating whether they're real or not. And I thought, am I real or not at that point? I'm going, whoa.
well, I'd kind of like to look at that. I always forget his name. Matt. He's in Philadelphia. Something of consciousness, quantum of conscious, or something like that. And he has some interesting things to say. One thing I really do agree with him on. He kind of thinks we live in fluid reality and things are not. It's not real. I guess I don't describe it super well, but one thing I do agree with him is that it seems like those around us who strictly take in what mainstream says and have never looked beyond anything but their particular bubble, I guess. And I used to be one of them, so I'm not being judgmental.
Me too.
Maybe I am being a little judgmental now because in the year 2020, come on, look outside your damn bubble, would you already? But anyhow, he describes people as taking a download. Like you might talk to them about something and, explain just very calmly numbers and mask stuff and this that, and they just give something that he feels can be downloaded into them because it's a standard answer that everybody's giving, which I used to do myself, so I can relate. I'm kind of glad I went through 1,000 different phases because it helps me to relate a little bit. Although lately I'm not very patient anymore.
Oh yeah, it's getting harder because we're getting encroached upon. It's one thing where, my boundaries and rights end here and your boundaries and, start there. I mean, I don't go around telling people what to wear and what to do all day. I never have. And I've started, some jobs that were very much like that, and I quit them instantly. I will not work in that kind of environment. I'm sorry, people. I'm human. I am not going to be treated like a cog.
Exactly. And you were going to kind of launch into something about that, about being told what to wear if you want. Go ahead, go. I might stop my cam.
Okay, let's stop cams and I'll put something up that I wanted to talk about. Let's see here. Share screen. My share screen. Everybody knows me by now. Okay. Most people know that in parts of the world, they have different beliefs and they have different ways of doing things. And here in Sudan, the women get genital mutilations. And it's quite common and it's quite accepted. But over here in the United States, most women are not keen on that. Matter of fact, I'm unclear if it's illegal or not to perform that here, but I am definitely thinking that yes, this is a tool. They pass these tools down. This is what I'm saying. That it's indoctrinated into their culture, and they hand these tools down to basically castrate the females.
Yeah,
And the
I
reason why, oh, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because right now in my country, people are telling me what to wear, a mask. And I'm not comfortable with it for many reasons. Physically, spiritually, mentally, I don't want to wear one. And just like these people's culture, I shouldn't have to be subjugated to someone else's beliefs. I'm not there, folks. I don't think that we are in a place right now where we can afford to have others, whomever they are. But I'm going to tell you who these others are. This I can definitely tell you. They are people you have never met and most likely will never meet. But you want to believe in them. You want to just follow them right off the cliff, whether they tell you to wear a mask or do some genital mutilation. You're just going to go right along with it because you heard it on the Kelly and Ryan show. Okay, I'm off. I'm off.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, if you want to, we can bring our faces back. If I don't care, whatever. We
Oh,
can be
okay.
casual tonight. Casual. People
Okay.
want to see us because we're such beauties. Let's face it.
Well, I have my
I'm
psychedelic
smoking a
camouflage.
cigarette. Yes, I'm smoking wildly, or not too wildly right now. Exactly. I mean, that was a blow me away good segment that you just presented to our wonderful viewers here at Oregon, Pennsylvania SOC, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, in fact, in terms of genital mutilation, there's a big debate on circumcision, which would be in the Jewish community, of course, but that's gone through the Christian. Now it's just kind of standard. But there's been a move kind of against that lately, and taking a look at it now from a different angle, I can understand why. I think people really should be able to make a choice when they get older if they want to or what have you, but to not, they need to have some control over their bodies.
I
And
agree.
yeah, and just staying with the mask thing for just a minute, the costume, as I like to call it, is that if you read the boxes, and they've come out with this a lot lately, if you go into a store and you read the box, it'll say it does not protect you from the COVID or any other. And they've done a lot of studies on this. But what really is bothering me, G, and you tell me, I'm sure you're bothered by it, is how they are denying reality, like on television or mainstream talking points. Suddenly, it's just not dangerous at all to wear one. I mean, even if you don't know a thing about anything and you're just too busy working or raising kids or canning vegetables or to notice, just breathing in your own exhale seems like that might register as not a good thing to do. Aren't we kind of supposed to be able to get
Get
rid of toxins?
toxins.
Yes.
That's how we do it. It's
Yeah.
one of the main ways of how the body does it.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
so I just don't understand this push to deny what seems to be common sense, but this is what I mean about a download. And people are so terrified of this. And what were those numbers again in terms of deaths if we go by their numbers? Wasn't it 0.003%?
well, I'm kind of beyond numbers because
Yeah.
right now I can't believe any of the numbers. It
Oh, I
doesn't matter.
know.
Pick a subject, whether it's financial, population, sickness. I
Yeah.
can't believe these people have poisoned the well
Yes.
so badly. I will not take a micro drop from any of it. Any
Yeah.
of it.
Yep.
At this point, all I'm doing is looking at my own inner community. What's going on, or what do I see every day? That's my reality, not somebody on CNN, not some white coat over in, Quantico, Virginia.
Yep.
Here again, I'm going to push this one more time.
Go for it. I like it when you're
I
spicy.
I know. My hands start. I'm Italian. My hands
I
start
am.
going.
I'm sitting on mine.
I should. But I'm going to say this one more time. I don't get why so many people put so much faith into so few others, the whomevers,
Yes.
that they've never even met.
You're
And I
right
mean,
about
even,
that.
and this is even on a local level. Your councilman, have you met them? No, you just check a box when here it's mail-in ballot. I'm going to say this also to all you states that do not have mail-in ballots. Fight it, fight it, fight it, because it's corrupt. And even the post office is now saying, don't let your postman pick it up, take it down and drop it in, the little slots they have all over the town. Because they don't trust the post office even getting your vote in.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so yeah, this is don't do it. It's corrupt. I can do a whole episode on that, but today it is more important that we just focus on the social re-education that they're trying to impose upon us.
Right.
And if willy-nilly and Karen want to wear a mask, go for it, my dears. God
Yeah.
bless you. But leave me alone. Don't
Yeah.
look at me side-eyed. And I'm going to tell you, there's two categories. I live in a big city. I have to go out. I have to eat. I have to shop. I'm sorry. I wish I couldn't wear that damn mask. You don't know, but I have to survive. It is mandated here. I mean, under penalties. And I just want to pick up some milk, okay, people? But anyway, my point is, I see a lot of people around me, and there's two types that really freak me out. And it's the way older men and the way younger women. It's like these two diverse categories are the ones that are going to look at you side-eyed if you're not wearing a mask or you're not wearing their kind of mask. It's getting to that point now.
Yeah.
Where she's just wearing a scarf. They whisper behind my back.
Well, I'll tell you, now that you mentioned that demographic, the two that you did, I think you're right about that. Now, I've been working with Joel, who my perpetual fiance owns his own business, house painting, and you know what that involves, way more than that. But he's working on this deluxe house, and I just love the work so much. Wink nod. But nobody there, of course, is wearing anything unless they're doing some spraying, and then you get a complete outfit and everything has to be taped. That's different.
The one time you should be wearing a mask is doing dust work.
Oh yeah, totally. But anyhow, we went afterwards. Spencer's been over there too. And we went to the store. It was lovely. I didn't see anybody wearing one today, except when I was coming out. There was an older gentleman. I know him personally. And he was in one. And a younger, now that you mention it, I just remembered right now because there was a younger woman that was coming in when I was leaving, and we're this close. And I'm like, hi, how are you? And she's like, fine, really sweet, and puts on a mask. Okay, then my brother's on the road, and he tells me, okay, now I'm going to go off, that he went to a restaurant at some place along the way because he went back to New Mexico. And he stopped somewhere to eat or stay the night, or I don't know what the case was. But they said you have to wear one to go to your table. Then you sit down and remove it and eat, and then you put it back on if you have to get up and use the facilities or whatever. I don't get, why aren't people saying this makes no effing sense?
I don't know who would continue to go out to restaurants under those conditions. And that's exactly the point, Lisa. The conditions are so ridiculous. The average person goes, oh, hell no, I'm not going to, deal with that kind of stuff. I'll just eat at home. And that's what they want. They are trying to collapse our everyday small business, middle class, because they're going to move in the big hammer.
That's right.
I can't.
I'll find that Spiro dude. Maybe I'll play him for a little bit.
Sure, please do.
Because he talks about this technocracy. Okay, now wait, I might need your guidance, and we don't have to edit or anything. To play him, I just play him, but then we mute our microphones, right? Okay. I'm going right now. I'm going to share the screen. I love to narrate. Oh, I know. I'm going to take my face off, though.
I think so, too.
Okay, cool. Share screen, ladies and gentlemen. Chrome tab. Now, these two that I'm going to play, because people always think if you play somebody, you must be madly in love with them and agree with everything they say. And oh my God, he's a Republican or he's a this. These guys aren't anything, by the way. They're not Democrat or Republican. And I think that they did a nice job. Not totally familiar with them necessarily, but here goes.
Derek Rose, excuse me, Derek Rose of the Conscious Resistance Network, and today we are going live for a special broadcast. I'm doing an interview with fellow researcher and journalist Spiro Skouras, who some of you may be familiar with. We're going to get into that in just a moment. I usually don't do the interviews live. I usually pre-record them, but I know that there's lots of you out there who follow both of our work, and I asked for questions earlier on Twitter and on Facebook and YouTube and got a lot of good responses. So I figured, why not do this conversation live? But before we talk to Spiro, I want to remind you guys to bookmark my website, theconsciousresistance.com. This is where you can find all of my content. You can download my books for free, check out the free documentaries we've been producing, all of our podcasts. And of course, follow us on alternative social media platforms, because although we are broadcasting live right now via YouTube and several pages on Facebook, at any point, these channels could be taken down, as likely Spiro's as well, and many other content creators that you guys keep up with. So please follow on Float, follow on Minds. You can join us over on Hive if you like the blockchain. I've got a text list running. I've got a Telegram channel. And of course, my videos are on BitChute and on Library. So please don't wait for them to delete me and then forget about my work or Spiro's work. Make an effort to follow the people who you appreciate, so that we can continue to share information with you as we move forward in this crazy, crazy post-COVID world. But we're going to go ahead now and bring on my guest, Mr. Spiro Skouras. How you doing, brother? Am I saying it right?
Yes, I'm great, Derek. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's I think this conversation has been a long time coming. I've been a fan of your work now for a little while, and I know that a lot of my audience is listens to your show as well. So I figured there's some crossover, and maybe we could just talk about some interesting things. So before we get into all that, I'd like to give you an opportunity to shed a little bit of light on your background as far as, your journey towards journalism and activism and everything you're doing now, and how long you've been doing it. I know that I've heard you mention you had a previous YouTube channel before the one you have now, right? That was deleted. So maybe just give a little bit of background before we get into some of the topics you've been covering.
For what it's worth, my background, I mean, I'm just a regular guy. I work a regular job in addition to doing the reports that I do. I did take some time off from my full-time career and just did news full-time for NewsBud a few years ago, and did that for a little while. But I started basically at a pretty young age. I was about 13, and my dad gave me a book by James Perloff to read, and it was The Shadows of Power and the Council on Foreign Relations, and it was about the Trilateral Commission, and it kind of just really blew my mind. I mean, I kind of was always suspicious of, but I mean, so that really helped, of course, my environment around me growing up. And I was always interested in what's really going on, never really having I was always skeptical, I would say, of the official stories, because oftentimes it's just, more often than not, it's garbage. So I was always active, around me, people. I would always try to engage in conversations with people and try to share things with them. And then that kind of just developed into being inspired by individual content creators on YouTube. And, I decided just to make my own channel. And some of those videos, were probably pretty rough, because, I mean, I just was like brand new to actually creating the content. And so over the years, I've kind of honed in those skills a little bit better. But that was, pretty much it just developed. I had that YouTube channel. It grew pretty quick, and then felt the censorship, that we're all experiencing now. And they did remove that channel a few years ago. But luckily, I have this one here going, and it's getting some good attention, putting out some good reports and some good interviews, some great guests.
Yeah, you've been doing just fantastic. And I want to say that, so I did see that you had worked with NewsBud before. I wasn't aware about your work then, but I became aware, I think maybe like lots of people in the audience, just in the last 6 to 8 months during the COVID crisis. You've been doing a great job reporting on different aspects. And if I'm correct, I believe that you were one of the first people to, at least in video form and in a major way, put out information about Event 201. And then I think the same thing as far as me coming across it with the Great Reset. So I know you've been doing great work on both those things. Those are topics that I've covered in article form and videos as well, but you really have just done a good job with that. So I appreciate that. And that's kind of where I want to take the conversation. I mean, I want to eventually get into some of the stuff you've done with Ghislaine Maxwell, and talking about obviously COVID-19, the technocracy, and everything we're seeing rolling out right now. But let's talk a little bit about your views on the Great Reset, kind of how you came across this, and just your thoughts on where we are in that whole thing.
Well, the Great Reset was almost pretty much expected, some type of a form of an announcement of the solution to this crisis. You know, I think we were all kind of just waiting for that to see what exactly they were going to roll out to be their solution.
I wanted to jump back in quickly. Can you hear me, G?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I wanted to jump in quickly to let people know something right now. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm sure he's going to explain, but you can go to the World Economic Forum, which I watched their coverage, I don't know how much, a couple months ago, and I just couldn't. I mean, this stuff isn't even hidden, so I'm going to keep playing it if you want me to. I think it's really important information. G.
Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure you're okay, because it's, he's going to, okay, all right. I'm muting, I'm going back.
Into this problem, reaction, solution crisis, which I think it fits that Hegelian dialectic to a T. And the Great Reset really isn't something that's new. It's been a plan. Klaus Schwab, the executive director of the World Economic Forum, he wrote a book about this quite some time ago. I mean, this is something that they've been working on for, I think it's something like 50 years. I mean, they've really been trying to implement the framework for this new paradigm. And essentially, that's where we're at. We're at the point right now where the global infrastructure is in place and the technology is there to reshape and reimagine humanity and our lives. And that's some of the language that they use, and the Great Reset, I mean, essentially it's the technocracy. It's the technological and scientific dictatorship of these ruling elites, these people who meet at Davos every year and set global policy, essentially. And everyone's on board with it. All of the major corporations, mega corporations, all of the central banks, all of the governments, essentially. The United Nations, of course, is partnered with the World Economic Forum, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, of course. So this is a huge overarching agenda that was essentially being established already incrementally for generations, getting us ready for this moment when they're ready to basically go live. And they even say themselves that the threat that this COVID crisis, those are their words, the threat that this crisis, basically they're going to use this as an opportunity, a great opportunity. The head of the IMF said this. They're all these big players are saying this. And so they don't want to let this crisis go to waste, essentially. And they're going to use it to transform every aspect of our life. And they even talk about merging man with machines. These are videos on the World Economic Forum's own YouTube channel about how there'll be a day soon to where we won't be able to distinguish what is organic life and what is artificial life. And it's going to be a part of us. It's going to change who we are fundamentally as humans. And so these are the social engineers setting this agenda for us. We don't get a say essentially in this. So this is, the time is coming now. I mean, they are rolling this plan out very quickly, and it all connects. Basically, we're all going to be tied into the grid, essentially. That we're seeing the cashless society being rolled out. We're seeing the immunity passports and the health passports and the digital vaccination records. And, the smart cities and basically it's all going to run on 5G and AI. That's going to be the operating system. And that's why they're so desperate to control the narrative at this point, and why we're seeing the censorship just, incremental. Just explode, not incremental. It's used to be much more subtle, and now it's much more blatant. They're outright, just today, for example, Twitter will not allow you to post any BitChute links, trying to just keep everyone on the YouTube platform, which is controlled, of course, by the technocrats there at Google. But I don't want to keep ranting. I could keep going, but
no, I understand. You covered a lot of ground there. So let me just throw out a few thoughts to you. For one, I totally agree that, like you said, it used to
Yeah, that's all I have to say is,
like-
yeah, I've been saying this for a
Now
long
it's just
time.
like a race
They
to the
are
finish.
really trying to get us to go to a technocracy.
Yes, and we met. I'm sorry how clumsily I ended that, but for some reason YouTube wasn't allowing me to pause. But I thought that was enough information if people want to look. And of course, I will supply links as I do.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The description to all that. But I mean, we talked about, and I read the Eisenhower portion in a previous stream of consciousness about this technological scientific elite. I think that's what he said. Something close to that, anyway, in his final speech.
Yeah, two things I want to say. Well, I have many things, but the two things I want to point out is, yeah, I think that we have been swimming through the Piscean age. And when you get to the end of the water and you're starting to come back on shore, it's muddy and mucky. And I think humanity has been dredging through this muck maybe the last 30, 40, 50 years. And they're tired, they're worn out, and they're so ready for a change. See, when he said they won't let a good crisis go to waste, well, I don't see this whole thing as a crisis. I see it as a theater. The crisis is yet to come. But we're ready for change, and that's what they're taking advantage of. Those whomevers know that mankind is so ready to just jump out of the pond now. They're saying, okay, jump out, and here, we're ready to catch you with this. We've devised over the last 30, 40, 50 years, we've been planning for this to happen.
Yeah, and it's like I said, in the last, I'm going to say 8 months to a year, I have really discovered that things are not that hidden from us. We are just kind of pushed in a different direction so we don't look. And anybody who does look, of course, is called what?
Oh, many things. Conspiracy theorists, chicken littles, tin hats.
Yes.
I mean,
how terrible. Someone called me a name, so therefore I'll stop looking. The CIA came up with all that jazz anyway, so.
Yeah, see, people have to realize starting in the late 40s and 50s, they got a good grasp of psychology and how to play us. They've been playing us. And then they figured out in the 60s, 70s, 80s how to play us with corporate maneuvers where they can grow and make a lot of money off of who? All of us.
Yeah.
And the Aquarian age is the age of knowing. And I have to say, we're leaving the age of I believe into the age of I know. And the most powerful thing anybody can have is knowledge.
Instead of belief.
Exactly. And not be lazy about it. Research, really gather what's going on, and look at things with a different perspective, not your just daily, like, hey, I'm just going to go shopping. And may I roll this one, Lisa? It's going to roll right in.
Wildly, yes.
Okay, I'm going to bring up something. Speaking of technocracy, hold on.
I'll go ahead and stop my cam.
Okay, I will in just a second.
That's fine. That's my musical ability. Aren't you frightened? Okay, add the screen.
Okay, so here we have incremental technocracy moving into a grocery store near you. And at first you can go, oh, I'm just going grocery shopping, but please walk through your grocery stores from now on with different set of eyes. Put on those sunglasses they have in They Live, an excellent movie. But check this out, please.
Stores are facing competition from the biggest names in online retail. That's why a company called Caper is making a shopping aisle staple smart.
We thought we'd take a conventional tool that everybody knows how to use and pack it full of technology and sensors. Right now, you could basically throw in weighted goods like your fruits and vegetables, and the cart will actually weigh it for you. It'll recommend you particular items based on where you are in the store. It'll help you check out. So we have these bagging hooks inside of our cart to allow customers to bag their groceries as they go, so that after they're done paying, they could just grab their bags and walk out of the store.
That kind of grab-and-go technology is already in place at Amazon Go stores. There, a complex system of cameras, sensors, and AI track every product a customer interacts with.
So we wanted to make sure that as a customer walks into the store, they could just grab our cart and go. That being said, we're working with the grocery stores right now, and you could log into your loyalty program within that store. So we have a better idea of who you are, how you purchase, and to really complement you as that end user. Basically, the ultimate vision and what we're building towards is that a customer would walk into the store, they grab something off the shelf, and when they throw it in the cart, all the sensors and the technology in the cart will immediately identify what that item is. This could work for something like a basket. This could work for something even larger, something smaller. So it's
Okay.
Wow, I'm floored in a way, but I mean, this is getting rid of people too. Like it started with those automatic checkers at Walmart and stuff, or whatever, whatever it's called, where you scan your own.
Right. And did you hear his wording? It's getting smart on who
Yes.
you are. And how, okay, that's one thing I know. Secondly, you'll have to have your phone because we're going cashless.
Yes. I told people this cashless stuff and they thought I was crazy.
Oh, yeah. You wear the tin hats until it all comes in, and it comes in incrementally, people. They don't just like ban cash. Oh, they're going after coin, but for different reason. I'll get to that too.
Okay.
They are moving us towards cashless society. And you shop yourself, and this is what's really irking me. These people keep thinking, oh, we're just going to go back to normal after this. We're just going to go, everything's going to be fine, just another month, another 2 weeks, and it will never go back to normal. As these grocery stores close, they're going to open up. Did you hear? Amazon goes everywhere you are.
Yeah,
and it spies on you throughout the whole store, and you shop, and there's no clerks needed, just night stalkers after everybody leaves. A few people stock the shelves, and pretty soon those people will be gone. They'll have robots doing that. See, and then the less they need humans, the more they're going to promote this jab you, let's do this to you, let's put you, oh, you got to scan to get on an airplane. Do you know what those airport scanners are doing to you, by the way, as well as everything else? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just going on, I'm just saying, yes, the technocracy is here, and it's a totalitarian tiptoe technocracy coming to a store near you.
Yeah. Well, the tiptoe has turned into a tap dance, and that started around March.
Yeah,
I think.
I give you that.
When I first heard the totalitarian tiptoe, I really dig some of the sayings that Mr. Ike has. Yes, David Ike. Oh my God. Clearly, I don't agree with everything he says, but he's been really on target on this one, on this whole scene that we're going through right now.
A lot of the tinfoil conspiracy kooks now are starting to look pretty darn.
Yeah, but we never get credit. Even when something comes true, that we still, people never go, you know, that conspiracy theorist was right about that. Maybe I should take another look at whatever's happening now. They don't. Download. They're taking a download. I don't know. I'm on a rib about the download.
No, I think you're right, because I've just met a lot of people, and they walk around in life.
Wait, hang on.
And they walk around in life like white noise. It's just this constant shh.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yes. Yeah. And that TV, I'm telling you what, it's just crazy. I mean, you know, of course, Perpetual turns it on in the morning, and some of the stuff I hear, you know, it's a pharma commercial every other minute. And it's stuff about, oh my God, I heard this the other day. I can't believe it. They are really trying to terrify people. It's like, why aren't people more afraid? There's that huge motorcycle event in Sturgis, South Dakota. The guy 12 Soul went out there. He left here last week. Okay, anyhow. They really want people to be afraid. I think oh my God, even during a pandemic, they're all gathering at Sturgis, and they're not wearing masks, and they're not doing this forced physical separation. And then they were getting on. I heard something yesterday while caulking a wall with my finger, that at the beaches, they were all appalled because people were not wearing masks at a beach. And be afraid, be very afraid. Even during 9/11, they tried to at least, you know, say, go out and go shopping and don't be afraid. Now it's the opposite, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bush was like, don't be afraid. Just go shopping. No,
exactly.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because, Lisa, what the heck is going on? When did it become normal to have an inverted quarantine where the healthy stay inside? Oh, my God. And supposedly the sick are all running around giving it to each other. And they're
yet they have no symptoms and they're spreading it. It is total inversion.
Totally.
Completely.
And that's where I go back to where the spirituality part of all of
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is people, we really are fighting something other than, and it likes an inverted world,
Yeah.
period.
I think so too. I mean, I don't consider myself to be any of the major
I
religions,
mean,
but
even
the spiritual, it's good and evil. I mean, that's the best way I can put it.
it is. And I just have to point out in a lighter note, even as I was watching Yellow Submarine for points on my own show, I noticed that the chief Blue Meanie made all his minion Blue Meanies say no. They could never say yes, even if the
It's been a
question.
long time since I've seen
I know. It's just so trippy. It's like, he asked the little meanie, "Are you da 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 da?" And he goes, "Yes, Blue Meanie Highness." And he goes, "Never say yes." "No, Blue Highness." So they all started just saying no. It was inverted. So I'm just saying,
I agree with
I'm
that.
beginning to think that our reality a little bit here. I'm going to put the tinfoil.
No, I love
Okay.
it.
I think we are living in some kind of loop sometimes. It's like something that was said in the 60s on a cartoon is so appropriate to what's going on today. It is uncanny. And it's like, what?
I thought of something that you did recently. Go ahead, though.
No, go ahead.
Okay, recently I dropped in one of your live gigs. I don't know when it was, 10 days ago or something. And you were talking about, it hit me while you were doing this live gig. It was, you were talking about a giant robot in Japan.
Mhm.
And then suddenly I thought of that song by Styx. I think it's Styx. I am the modern man, secret, secret. I got a secret. Who hides behind a mask? I even looked up the words.
Oh my gosh.
So no one else can see my true identity. And it's like Domo Roboto, Mr. Roboto. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's about a robot and they're hiding behind a mask. And then at the end he goes, "I'm Kilroy. I don't really know that part, but I think there are clues from the past that say what's going on. Billy Idol, Eyes Without a Face. Think about
Yes.
that.
I know all these
Think
songs.
about it.
Well, that also is my point too. I think that true creativity, whether it's writing a song, painting a picture, you get the idea. All this creativity, I do think it is channeled, and that we bring in something that we're channeling, and we don't know it at the time. It just is cool or pretty or whatever. And I give credit to the designers on Yellow Submarine that they were just great channelers. I think they just channeled all of this.
I'm going to have to look at that video you made at least. And because
then-
I didn't get to catch up, I've been, doing something I hate to do for a living.
Hey, no problem. But yeah, the point is that I think somehow our reality gets looped. It's like, something from the past hits us in the present, something in the future hits us in the past. I mean, it's just like we're not on this linear line that we imagine. That's
Right.
what I keep telling. We're on like waves, and sometimes
Yeah.
waves touch and they go down, and maybe some of our own waves are touching each other again, looping in a strange, not physical way, not like, all of a sudden I walk out the door and everybody's, wearing long hair and a beard, well, that is kind of
They
true
might
again
be
these
if
days.
they said that it stopped the virus, they would, even women.
Well, I do predict a trend that our hairstyles are going to change again because it's just difficult to go to a barber or a hairdresser with all of this rigmarole. You have to,
Thank God for Patty. Yeah.
yeah. I watch it. Home hairstyling. Put your stock in home hairstylists because that is the wave of the future.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Speaking of waves, I'm sure the second wave is on the way.
Oh,
And
yes.
do you think, is there a possibility? Is there just a possibility, or am I completely nutty, that perhaps breathing in your own jazz and gathering up bacteria and whatnot could lead to some symptoms that everything now, any symptom is, of course, the thing, the COVID. So could the mask thing, just, is there a possibility it could tie into getting tested and then they say you have it and there's your second wave? Or am I just completely crazy?
No, you're not crazy. No, not crazy at all. It's tearing down the immune system. But I think what happened is their initial end result that whomever's wanted was just simply your fear. For many, there
Oh,
again,
yes.
just fear, physically. You when you're in fear, you literally, you physically, you tense up, you stiffen up, you don't move. That's where they want you. They want you to do the inverted quarantine and don't move.
And
Okay.
fear, of course, can lead to illness. We all kind of know it's stress.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
of course stress and the immune system. Now mentally, it's hitting you too, because whether people realize it or not, when you go out in public and have to cover your face, you are subconsciously telling yourself, I'm not worthy.
Or you're ashamed. Or
I
something.
don't belong here. I'm going to submit to others. You don't think you're thinking that, but you're
Right.
thinking that. And I even look at myself, I got to tell you today, I got a story about
I
masks.
saw no mask today, but that one, and it was great.
I love this. I went to my dispensary, to get my stuff. And as I was walking out, there were two gentlemen standing in the waiting room. And one guy, both were wearing masks, because we have to wear masks in there. But one guy was dressed in I don't know if it was a man's or woman's white robe. I would say it was a woman's because it seemed more fluffy. And a boa around. That's all he was, and slippers, bunny slippers. He was wearing bunny slippers, this white robe, and a boa with his mask. So I looked at him and I said, right on, dude. Boy, you are in costume.
Yeah.
Because hey, keep it weird, Portland. That's where we're at here. Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with here now. So I'm almost thinking maybe I should just really dress up ridiculously. Hey, you want me to wear a mask? I mean, I already have skulls, but...
Patty, who I mentioned earlier, her husband they're farmers, and he has this, I could run in and show it to you, but he has these coveralls, and they're disposable. I don't even know how to describe them. They're not really paper, but they're not really material. They're kind of both. And so you can wear them like a time or two, to do what he's doing. So she brought me those. And then right before all this started, I decided to try to make that epoxy jewelry where it sets, and it's really, and you're supposed to wear a mask, and a good one, because of the fumes. So right before this happened, or during it, or something, February or something like that, I get this mask from China. Okay. And it has it's a good one. It has the filters and the deal, and you look like the man from the Black Lagoon or something. I have no clue. I thought about wearing that sometime. I don't wear one at all, but I would love to do it as a joke. And then I have these cross-country ski, or not, they're snowshoe, sunglasses, but they're all one, goggles, whatever they're called, that go totally over so you're not blinded, so you can't really see into them. I think I might do that soon. Just, why not? Either that or the mosquito netting.
Yeah, there you go. A wonderful costume. I thought this guy, I really got the hit that he was making a statement.
Good. At least
I did
have fun with it. I know someone who wore a Chewbacca hat, Chewie Chewbacca from the Star Wars franchise. They wore one of those.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to have to start thinking about this. But so that's what's happening here. And of course, I've just also been, concerned that the protests stay in the business districts. Yes, they're over here on the east side. It's a business district. It's an odd business district where the police department that they are attacking lately resides. And I just wanted to keep it over. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep it over there because we have neighbors here that want to jump on the bandwagon regardless of what the protest, we're protesting daisies. They'll jump on the bandwagon. That's how ridiculous.
Some people love to do that. Yeah,
they are.
I wanted to say one thing about that. First of all, that Spiro gentleman who I played earlier, he did I'll try to remember to include it here. I usually listen back and then get the links. He played who is funding some of these people, and he's not a Democrat or a Republican. I have to make that clear. He's nothing. People have a hard time believing that people are nothing, that people are not. I'm nothing, okay, in terms of politics.
Well, that's why I keep stressing, stop believing people you've never met.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at. That's my politics.
Yeah. I know my local people, of course, personally, but anyhow, I think that the BLM should really be protesting the fact that the person who I'm going to try to talk in code, who founded Microsoft, I don't know if that's really code language, who's doing a certain jab test, is testing the jabs in, say, brown countries located on the continent of Africa currently, and has also done a lot of damage when he did this in India, to the point of I don't think they're invited back there because there were a lot of issues with the jab from this lovely couple that wants to save the world and has no degree in anything or whatever. People look up to doctors, but where's this? Not even a white lab coat. Money, 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 ladies and gentlemen, follow that money. So that's what I think should be included in the protests. These people are brown that they're killing. And of course, I'm totally against that. Please. I would protest that.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
No, absolutely. And that's why I brought up Sudan, because
good one.
These nations raised their citizens to be very gullible. I don't want to criticize them, but come on.
It's our country.
Yes. Okay. But to levels. But these people believe that, female mutilation.
Yeah, I know.
What it is okay. So it's easier for them to go into these countries and say, hey, I've got a vaccine, to make your kids much better. Okay. See, here.
Well, they fight them too, but.
Well, they're fighting them now because they woke up. They got woke.
Good. Thank goodness.
I know. Yeah, Zimbabwe. Remember he tested the tests on a cantaloupe and a bird or something?
Yep.
A goat? I don't know.
Goat and a papaya, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go.
Like and it came back positive, and then some other person, I don't know who it was, I can't remember everything, but he decided not to be a member of that WHO and not the group from England. And mysteriously, he died a few weeks later. Some president of some country. I can't keep up with all the presidents. All the presidents' men.
I know, and all the people who've been dying off lately.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's a coincidence theory, Sharp. Come on.
Yeah. But that's so. All I have to say is I just want my dear neighbors, let's start local with me, just my dear neighbors, I just pray that they understand that others don't have their best interest, and even on our local level here.
Right.
And a lot has gone awry. The corruption, the thievery, the despicable things have hit peak. We've hit peak, people. And this is the result of it. This is where the equal sign comes in, and then your answer. So, just saying, we need to be local and one day at a time. I just have fun, live your life, and don't get into that fear, because there's only two things here, peeps: love and fear.
Peeps, I love it.
Love and fear.
The fear thing was a big deal because those whomevers, they realize what fear can do to you physically and mentally. And so they do it. I mean, like you said earlier about psychiatry or whatever, they've been studying, analyzing our brain, Tavistock Institute and all that. We can get into that another time. So,
yes, let's do that soon.
Let's do, because I saw a person, well, you know how I kind of like that John Levy channel where he talks about the old buildings, how they don't fit in. I've been over this before.
And I've been working off of that. I don't know if you saw mine with lightning rods.
I did see that, some of yours. I think I left a comment.
Yeah.
He did one the other day that was so fascinating, and it tied in with a lot of stuff. And if you think about the human body, I think that we are like some sort of cell, you know what I mean? And they get this energy from us, like negative energy kind of thrills the whomevers. But he did this one where it showed a computer motherboard and how much it looks like a city and stuff. I couldn't believe it. So and they're located on the ley lines and all this. So we'll have to do a total show about this.
Absolutely. I would love it.
And John Levy and all. Yeah, I'll shut up now.
Oh,
but
no.
Maybe I should just shut up. Maybe we should think about it. We've gone 49 minutes. Up to you.
Yeah, no, we can take this down. Yes, you're right. This is a great run at 50 minutes or so.
Yeah, and I hope, please, ladies and gentlemen, I will supply that interview that we played earlier, a portion of it, And you have to realize this is not a conspiracy, and they are not working in your best interest. These are people that everybody has a suspicion of billionaires and gazillionaires and quadruplaires. But when it comes to certain things, they just somehow trust them. I don't get it. I don't understand. Download.
That's
Yeah.
just, I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it either. It's a time where we need to step back and be more skeptical. Where did our skepticism go? It's
Yeah, we
okay
do
to
need
own
to
it.
work in our communities. I forgot to say, because people are getting together. Like, we'll run into people that are really on the same page, and we're kind of talk and gather and figure out what to do. It's been happening a lot lately. So maybe there is something sort of, you were saying, like a channeling, or
Yes.
with art you met. But I think there is something about vibes being put out. I just do. I didn't used to, but I do now. And that would tie in with us being cells and stuff and giving frequencies and energy. Didn't Tesla talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So,
There's way more to us in one respect and way less of us in another.
and they don't want you to know the true you. And with that, we should keep the audience hanging until next time.
Sounds good.
So,
Well, thanks. This has been great.
it has totally. It was really good to get back with you. And tomorrow I'll be slaving away for Joel for a little bit and then back home and doing whatever. I don't know what's happening. I'll keep everybody posted. But I guess I'm the signer offer, right?
That's correct. So I'll tell everybody, be well and stay frosty.
Stay frosty. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode 8. Finally, Oregon, Pennsylvania SOC. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you garnered some information. We just want you to have an open mind and really look into things and see things in a different way and realize what G said. These people don't, you're kind of relying on people that you will never know. You will never know who they really are, like at the top of the pyramid of power, as the Sage of Quay says. Maybe we'll talk about him another time. Okay, signing off. And remember, do not clutch pearls, ladies and gentlemen. I guess I'll do this take me out music, but here. Okay.